Hello, we are the Emphasis Lab. Our client is Open Context, which is an open data digital repository of cultural heritage and archaeology data maintained by the Alexandria Archive Institute. Used by professional archaeologists, researchers and educators in archaeology and the humanities, and archaeology enthusiasts, the platform's mission is to democratize archaeological data to the masses for discovery and inspiration. Since Open Context is in the middle of a redesign for their database search, we partnered with them to help them understand the motivations of their primary user groups, how easy it is for users to find the information they're looking for, and how they may improve their search function based on foundational usability best practices. Open Context thinks about their users in two categories: data authors, people uploading data, and data seekers, people looking for data. For the purposes of this research, the focus was on data seeking, as data authoring is very hands-on. Over the course of 5 months, we collected, analyzed, and synthesized data regarding open context usability through the following research methods: interaction mapping of the main site pages, user interviews across users and stakeholders, a comparative evaluation of similar archaeological databases and platforms, surveys, heuristic evaluation, and usability testing. Before going into key findings and recommendations, first, it should be noted that Open Context is appealing to its target users, regardless of database experience. Findings indicated that the Open Context staging site, undergoing developments, already elicits good feedback from users. Users also indicate that the search function, the primary function being analyzed, is fast and efficient. Open Context has also done a great job of partnering with data authors in order to gather, consolidate, and present granular data, especially geolocational data. From our methods and approach, we generated a variety of findings that may allow Open Context to improve their user experience across their target groups. First, as an information database, it shouldn't come as a surprise that effective search is at the top of user concern. Apart from access to data, it's the most frequently used function in archaeological databases. According to our user interviews, most users begin database search with a specific need in mind, and due to the sheer amount of data in a repository, an effective way to filter out the noise is imperative. To improve this experience, our findings revealed that there's room for improvement in the visual layout and iconography of the search page so that it conforms to industry standards and is therefore intuitive to use. Our recommendations for Open Context would be to reconsider the placement of advanced filtering options in relation to other site elements, and to make the nested filtering headers look more like collapsible sections and less like URLs. Our next finding relates to a user's ability to understand where they are in the site. Since our first study, where we laid out Open Context sitemap, the team has noticed that Open Context provides several types of search, such as data records and media records, but that each search type looks similar to one another. This makes it difficult for users to orient themselves around their placement in the site and requires them to rely on memory recall to retrace their steps. More so, while the pages are visually similar, there are some nuances, such as navigation bars that change page over page, and interactive elements on the site, when refreshed, may send a user to unexpected locations. This makes it difficult for users to anticipate how the site will react to their actions. To improve in these areas, Open Context should update the master navigation bar to be consistent across the site. For different types of search, provide visual cues such as headers or color schemes to indicate what function a user is currently using. And lastly, provide breadcrumbs to aid user understanding of the site hierarchy and ease navigation when jumping from one hierarchy to another. Finding 3 revolves around the fact that users rely on visual cues to influence their actions. In most digital platforms, this means making use of familiar icons to tell them how to interact with the site. Across Open Context, there are a few areas where replacing icons with alternative options will improve the user experience. For instance, our usability and heuristic tests found that the filter icon on the chronological distribution and the info icon under filtering options were non-intuitive to users, with some users ignoring the visual call to action or becoming surprised at how the site reacted. More so, some iconography was very small and easily missed. In our reports, you'll find several recommendations on alternative iconography that may be used to improve user experience. For instance, replacing the filter icon in the chronological timeline with a check button. Across our studies, participants talked about the importance of getting data out of the system, since people need the ability to manipulate it through offline analysis. In our survey, data export came in as one of the most important features for archaeological databases. In our usability study, we found that depending on the user pathway, the ability to export data in open context may be inconsistent, where sometimes the export function is where it's expected and sometimes not. In terms of data export, CSVs are the preferred format, and open context has the opportunity to improve how data fields are provided to the user, such as the ability to reorganize data columns and remove unneeded fields, and also provide more consistency on where the export function is located. You can see our usability test report for more details. Lastly, as open context accelerates its efforts in platform growth and expansion, the system will have to cater to how novices and experienced users operate within it. Novice and experienced users have different needs. Novices need support in learning and training, whereas experienced users crave shortcuts to optimize repeated actions, such as accessing past searches or saving important pages. As you can see from our survey, open context users work in databases frequently, which means any help speeding up tasks can save them time. Usually, user journeys may be programmed at account creation. For instance, brand new users can be presented with an in-app tutorial on how to use the site. Due to open context's lack of user tracking, we recommend creating onboarding documentation that explains key features and can be accessed from FAQs. Additionally, we recommend open context to consider implementing optional profile creation to allow established, returning users to have a saved history of their preferred actions. Here's an example from a Tableau dashboard where a user can manage their frequently used dashboard filters. This may also be useful for security group management as the site scales. Please note that our research process has areas for improvement and consideration. At times, the team relied on personal networks for study participation, which could lead to familiarity bias during tests and interviews. Additionally, due to our course timeframe, some of the processes and techniques may be less robust than ideal or are beyond the scope of the course. However, as open context is undergoing developments, we hope our recommendations will allow for them to hone in on key features while maintaining the mission and goals of the platform. Open context is an invaluable tool to both data authors and seekers alike, and we have thoroughly enjoyed collaborating with this platform and the Alexandria Archive Institute. Thank you for placing your trust in our team and in allowing us to experience open context from many perspectives.